Hello friends and welcome. Today's video is going to be an informational chat. We are going to be looking at the total solar eclipse in Aries, Taurus season, and Mercury retrograding in Taurus. On Wednesday, we are going to see the beginning of a beautiful new refreshing energy shift as we open up eclipse season, see a second Aries new moon in Aries season, and step into Taurus season with Mercury retrograding in Taurus. These energies are going to bring in a very grounding and calming energy that is going to allow us to step into this next season from a slower perspective, shifting our energies from the fire of initiation into the seeds of growth. As initiation needs fire, needs desire, needs motivation and movement, growth needs nourishment, patience, acceptance, and unconditional love, allowing us to really hone in on the things we need in this moment, the things we need to be focused on grounding into our existence in the season ahead, looking at where we can nourish the dreams we have initiated. This year has been filled with the energies of new beginnings, as many new energies have been aligning and moving as we have started off the year. This energy of newness is going to continue with this Aries new moon, this opening of a new eclipse axis. We will also see a shift in energy to the inner thinkings of our beings, the way we communicate, as Mercury retrogrades in Taurus to aid us in seeing from a new perspective. We also see this eclipse season splitting between two axes. This is something we will be working with over the next year and a half, as we are moving through a series of eclipses that span two zodiac axes. Often we have complementary eclipses, meaning that they will be one side of their axis, opposite signs from each other. However, these eclipses will span over two axes and intermingle, as we see the north and south mode shifting into a new axis this summer. This is going to be an introduction to this new energy, this new axis of exploration. We are going to see the eclipse is in Aries and Libra axis and the Taurus and Scorpio axis. So paired with this new moon solar eclipse in Aries, we will have a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio at the next full moon, which is May 5th. So these are not complementary eclipses. They are not opposing each other. They are opening a new axis and not yet closing the old axis, and it is a more rare form of eclipse. So let's start by looking at the energies of the new moon eclipse in Aries. On Wednesday evening or Thursday AM, depending on your time zone, we will see the new or the dark moon peak in the zodiac sign of Aries. At this point, the moon will have zero illumination as the sun and moon are in perfect alignment. During this alignment, we will have the total solar eclipse that will be visible in Australia. Solar eclipses tend to signify a new beginning in our journey. As this eclipse is falling in the sign of Aries, the sign connected to new beginnings, this energy is magnified, making this eclipse a powerful one for setting intentions, manifesting our desires, seeking opportunities, and connecting deeply with ourselves. As Aries is a sign of self, us experiencing our journey in our body alone, it is a powerful time to connect with our core self and to allow ourselves to see ourselves in new perspectives. Allow ourselves to see that we have grown and are not the same person we once were, allowing us to free ourselves of our limitations that we impose on ourselves, and really connecting us to a fresh start within whom we are and how we turn up in our world and in the worlds around us. This eclipse marks the beginning of a new eclipse axis, the Aries-Libra axis. It will show us some things that we will be working with during this new eclipse axis. Aries, the energy of self, Libra, the energy of relationships, the collective balance. So an axis all about balancing our inner needs with those of the world around us and connecting us to the relationships we hold and how they feed us, how they support us, and how they nourish our growth. Also an important energy to allow us to assess how we affect others in their personal lives and how our actions affect the whole, allowing us to find a balance of individual needs with the existence of all. Very potent energies that are at the forefront of what we are seeing around the globe, this need for self-protection, this need to allow the existence of all. The North and South Node mark the path we walk in our world. They bring our beginnings and our endings together, enabling us to integrate the two and walk through our journey. They are about stepping outside our comfort zone and taking the steps we need without holding ourselves back. They are our skills that we come to Earth with, those we develop as we grow, and the ones we are awakened to as we integrate and transform. They are the energies of our journey and the energies of adaptation and flexibility to allow a constant flow of energy. They are the energies of our end, of our purpose, and of our final destination. The Taurus-Scorpio axis we have been walking and will be working on closing during this eclipse season has been one of integrating our body, our being, with our transformation. It has been about allowing us to see that we are ever changing, ever growing, ever transforming in all our forms, aiding us in grounding those transformations in our beings. Moving into the Aries-Libra axis, we are taking these transformations we have made and integrating and bringing them into our individual worlds, as well as the world around us, allowing us to initiate the changes within ourselves that will benefit us all. Beautiful energies of growth, transformation, initiation, and balance. There are so much new beginnings under this eclipse that it has the power to really shift our life path in a completely new direction. Eclipses usually bring change, transformation, or upheaval in the effort to move us to a higher state of consciousness, to push us on our path, to realign us with our inner purpose. This Aries new moon solar eclipse is activating a gateway to a new reality, opening doors we would never have expected, bringing opportunities we have longed for, and there may come as a surprise. These are the things we have been working for. We just don't always see them come to us in the way that we have planned. Oftentimes, they turn up in totally different forms that suit us even better and aid us in our expansion and renewal. This supercharged new moon is going to bring out our sensitivities, aiding us in connecting to ourselves and our intuition, guiding us to spend time within, spend time with ourselves, and to see where we need to take action to bring our inner and outer worlds into alignment. This energy is going to bring fire and energy that will activate our creativity, our courage to go for the things we desire, the bravery to stand up for ourselves, to leap into something new, and to find the confidence to act for ourselves. It is a powerful time to fan our inner flame or tame it. It depends on where we stand in our Aries energy. As fire can fuel, it can motivate, it can supply with energy, but it can also burn, it can destroy, and it can rage out of control. So take time to connect within and see, what does your inner flame need? The powerful new moon eclipse is taking place in the 29th degree of Aries, the very last degree of the zodiac sign, bringing in this liminal energy of new beginnings and endings. As the previous new moon in Aries was at 1 degree Aries, and this one is at 29 degrees Aries, it is indicating the energy of the cycles we all take as individuals. It can be signaling the end of one journey and the beginning of another, or a time to put to rest the cycles of the past, allowing us to step freely into the cycles to come. A very cosmic, karmic energy of closure, leaving the space for renewal. It is also a point where we are able to integrate the lessons of the zodiac sign, the journey past, and allow it to aid us in operating from a higher level, a level of empowerment as we see what we have walked through and how we stand now. This solar eclipse is laying the foundation for a new path to emerge. It is providing you with an energy-rich environment to create your wildest dreams. It is giving these energies of destruction and renewal that we can harness in our lives to close out the stories and energies that are no longer serving us and open up the energies of new, ready to write our next story from this new level of existence and understanding. This eclipse is reminding you that you are the creator of your world, but you also co-create this world with others. So where you feed your energies and intentions will have repercussions and influences not only on yourself, but on others. It is also a reminder that the universe is one of those others you create with. The universe is open to infinite potential, that the universe is ready to aid you in manifesting your wildest dreams. This eclipse axis is very Mars and Pluto ruled, with both planets represented in these Aries and Scorpio eclipses. This is going to allow us to explore what we are moving through, why we are pushing through things, what's motivating us, and what feels really true to us, aiding us in looking at these things in order to empower ourselves to move in a more aligned direction. Mars is all about our energy, our focus, intentional action, and taking the initiative. It is a very inspirational, renewing, and transformative energy, allowing us to look at where we stand and how we use our energies and how we stand to use them better, allowing us to re-energize and heal ourselves. Aries is also a very vulnerable energy, as it is connected to and represents the areas of ourselves connected to our individuality, experiencing things as a single being not connected to anything or anyone else. This energy can feel tender and vulnerable, and when we are unable to feel that or connect to that energy, it often erupts in its more volatile forms. It's important for us to take care of that individual self. It's important for us to see ourselves for whom we are and the transformations we have walked through. Scorpio carries the energy of Pluto, the energy of transformation, of renewal from the ashes of the old, an energy connected to the hidden things, the subconscious, and our abilities to connect within and to acknowledge those parts of ourselves that we allow to remain hidden. This coming full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio in May is going to shine a light on the places we need to transform, on the conditioning and attitudes we hold to change, and any restrictions we may have self-imposed on ourselves that inhibit us from expressing ourselves in our truest form. Now, this new moon solar eclipse in Aries is square Pluto in Aquarius, bringing this Pluto energy into the mix here at the new moon as well. Pluto, the planet of transformation, the unseen, and renewal from the destruction, has just moved into Aquarius and is heightened in this new zodiac energy. Squaring with this very potent, rare new moon eclipse is going to bring in beautiful, transformative energies that will allow us to step into something new, allowing us to accept change, to accept the things we need to do to make our existence more sustainable. Pluto is challenging us to look at how we have changed, how we experience ourselves on a personal level. It's asking us to let go of the conditioning and be whom we truly are, for we are ever evolving, ever changing, and ever moving through the world in new and empowering forms, new and empowering ways, allowing us to embrace our vulnerabilities, allowing us to be our vulnerable self, allowing us to strip ourselves back to our core, ready for growth and renewal, ready for us to nourish ourselves anew, ready for us to take new forms. About 30 minutes after this eclipse, the still dark moon, so zero illumination, moves into the sign of Taurus, bringing a very gentle, grounding, patient energy into the mix, allowing this eclipse energy to be brought to us in grounding, valuable forms, aiding us in growing and shifting within ourselves and allowing us to really connect to our physical body. Taurus is a fixed earth sign, grounded in itself, in its body, in its being, focused on love, acceptance, and nourishment. Very stabilizing and foundational energy to support the shifting energy that comes with the eclipse season, and to support us as individuals as we shift and grow. As this dark or new moon, whatever you want to call it, zero illumination of the moon that is now in Taurus, square Pluto in Aquarius, we see a freedom to our being that we may not have truly felt before. This connection with a new portal of existence, a new reality, a new way of seeing ourselves, grounding our transformations in our being, in our bodies, in our energy, in our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, aiding us in connecting to the transformative energies around us, aiding us in renewing ourselves and allowing us to simply be whom we are where we stand right now. Just allowing us to be. A very healing new moon that can allow us just to have this acceptance of self and this acceptance that our self is always changing, always evolving, always going through cycles. Soon after, the sun moves into Taurus, marking the beginning of Taurus season, the season of the bull. As Aries season tends to move very swiftly, this grounding and slowing energy of Taurus is going to allow us to rest, recharge, and rejuvenate, allowing us a moment to pause, allowing us to take a moment to be. Taurus season favors small, methodical, and practical steps that are rooted in long-term strategies. Taurus is all about the long game, about building stability. It is about enjoying the resources we have and making the most of the things that are around us and taking time to enjoy ourselves as we are. Taurus season asks us to look to the future and ensure we are creating a solid foundation as we journey towards our goals and dreams, making sure we value ourselves, our energy, our actions, aiding us in bringing in the element of unconditional love to our actions and unconditional love of self, aiding us in connecting to the Venus energies that Taurus brings, allowing us to connect to our mind and our inner communications to aid us in loving ourselves in all of our forms. Taurus season is the season of gratitude and finding the pleasure in the small things, allowing us to see what we have and the things that are really important to us, allowing us to give thanks for the things we have, allowing us to appreciate the infinite potential that is all around us, and allowing us to use things more wisely, allowing us to prioritize our actions to get the most of our energy, resources, and time. By giving gratitude, we are able to see all we have. By giving gratitude, we attract more of what we have. By giving gratitude, we learn to understand that it is the little things that truly matter. By giving gratitude, we learn to love without conditions, accepting things as they are, accepting ourselves as we are, accepting others as they are. A practical season that starts off strong, coming off the back of this new moon eclipse in Aries. As the moon slowly begins to illuminate again and the sun and moon begin to part ways in their cycle, we see Mercury, the planet of communication, going retrograde in the sign of Taurus. And this is on Friday, early hours of Friday. As this retrograde happens, we see the sun in Taurus align with this newly retrograde Mercury, allowing the sun to shine its light on the hidden side of Mercury. This conjunction makes the beginning of this 3-week retrograde period, which ends May 15th, very profoundly illuminating and allows us to see where we stand in our communications, in our expressions, and in the messages that we give and receive. Mercury is the messenger of the gods and aids us in communicating with the divine. It is a channel between the mortal and immortal worlds. This higher aspect of self is going to be illuminated during this retrograde period as we see it happening in the earth sign of Taurus. Mercury rules over our minds, our intuition, our thoughts, and communication styles. It is our ability to communicate clearly in all forms and to access the higher levels of ourself, aiding us in witnessing the mind, the thoughts, and the triggers in new and profound ways, allowing us to step back and see where we need to ground ourselves in our being, where we need to realign in ourselves, and where we need to change the stories we tell about ourselves. As Mercury retrograde is a regular part of Mercury's cycle, happening 3 to 4 times a year, it is a normal part of the cycle that we can embrace rather than fear. Pop astrology gives retrograde periods a really bad rep. Yet these periods are simply a slowing down of planetary energy, enabling us to turn within, to reflect on our systems, and slow down to aid us in our realignment. They are a natural part of the process that allow us to integrate things at a deeper level. By challenging our communications, we are able to see how our words hit and how they affect those around us. It allows us to see our communications from another perspective, one we wouldn't be able to see without some new processing. Ancient astrology believed that when Mercury was in retrograde, it traveled through the underworld, collecting lost and hidden messages, releasing those messages that are trapped deep within the subconscious. On its return from the underworld, it brings new information, changing how we feel, how we see, how we think, and consequently how we communicate and step forward, bringing to our awareness the things that need to be integrated and released to set us free, the things that we need to see the most. Mercury retrograde is a good time to slow down, to go back over things, to reevaluate the things that come up, revisit the past, and pay attention to our subconscious thoughts. To look at our programming and how we process things. Do these still aid us, or are they in need of updating, of removal? Retrogrades trigger our hidden abilities, our intuition, our awareness, our psychic abilities, guiding us to step away from the information in the seen world and instead to rely on the information of the unseen world, allowing us to connect to ourselves and how we see the world, how we feel, and how we align within ourselves, aiding us in seeing from new perspectives and in new profound ways, aiding us in trusting in the process, trusting in the universe. Mercury retrograde in Taurus is asking us to become more thoughtful, more intuitive in our communications, thinking, and decision-making, aiding us in relaxing into our being, into whom we are, allowing us to let go in the places where we feel tight, where we feel we can't express ourselves, the areas where we can't put things into words, aiding us in appreciating the new things that are blossoming, aiding us in connecting with the things that we can't even imagine, the infinite potential that surrounds. This will aid us in opening up to the mysteries of who we are and the stories that we tell. Taurus energy is going to aid us in getting back in touch with our body, with our mind, with all forms of communication, allowing us to ground any excess energies, thoughts, feelings that may be clouding the way, allowing us to see with some new clarity, allowing us to slow down and listen to our bodies, our natural rhythms, aiding us in getting back in touch with whom we are as we stand, allowing us to reevaluate ourselves and how we communicate ourselves to the world at hand, reassessing what brings us life, what brings us joy, allowing us to take time to simply be and understand that we don't always have to be communicating ourselves, that we can simply be in communion with ourselves. Not everyone needs to know everything about us. Not everyone deserves to know our inner workings. It's about finding a true form of expression that comes from the core of whom we are, where we are able to show the world whom we are from a place of pride, a place of unconditional love. We need to cultivate this idea that we are okay with where we are, with where we stand, that we don't always have to be pushing forward, we don't always have to be adapting, we can simply be, fixing ourselves in our being in the only moment that truly exists, right now, the present moment. This retrograde coming so closely after the new moon eclipse is really going to aid us in stepping into the new person that we are, aiding us in taking action to communicate from our place of comfort, our place of stability, our place of unconditional love, allowing us to reassess and rebuild those things that need to be transformed during this time. These energies are going to aid us in awakening to the things we need to see during this transformative period. They're going to bring a very new and grounded energy of abundance and renewal, aiding us in renewing and empowering ourselves to step forward for ourselves and taking charge of how we act, how we communicate, and where we put our energy, time, and resources, allowing us to draw on our infinite potential within to attract the infinite potential without, giving us an opportunity to work with energies of abundance, allowing us to take our energy and transform ourselves in ways that will allow us to step forward empowered, renewed, and ready to go after whatever aids our path. May these energies guide you in your abundance. May you transform in new and profound ways. May you open up to whom you truly are and learn to communicate in new and grounding ways. For as we walk through this eclipse portal, as we walk through this Mercury retrograde, we stand in our worth, knowing that we have the potential to be whomever it is that we need to be, whomever that we want to be, allowing us to nourish ourselves from a place of infinite love and acceptance. Know that you have the power to work with these energies in whatever way that you would like. There's nothing scary about energy. Energy is neutral. It is about what you take and what you do with it. It is about what you believe and how you take those beliefs and perceptions and put them together into your actions, your thoughts, and the way that you communicate. I hope that you enjoyed this informative chat, and I hope that it allows you to sit with these energies and just to see how truly spectacular you are, to see where you have come through your journey, to see where you stand, to see that it's okay for you to be who you are and know that you are truly loved and accepted. Until the next time, goodbye, my friends.